Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky. With me here, as always, is my partner in Poke Crime, the boy.
Hey.
And this is the Two Nerds Podcast. Before we do what we do on the internet, if you could like, comments, favorites, subscribes, those are great. But the likes, please like, and circulate the videos. If you think we're cool, your friends might think we're cool. And if your friends think we're cool, their friends might think we're cool. And so on till the end of time, until we are the next Markiplier.
That'd be pretty great.
That would be the tits. Also, if you would head to our description, you can go buy up some of my books. I write a thing. And there's also a link to Shining Wasato. No. There's a Bandcamp page down there. Every other fucking week I have it down. Super Blizzard's Shining Wasato track, Let's Get Hardcore. That's our theme music. So if you could buy some of his music, that'd make him super happy. I hear Joylancer, one of the games he worked on, is actually like super fucking hot on iPhone right now. I don't know if it's on Android devices. It probably isn't on Windows Phone, let's be honest. But buy that shit up, man. Support this guy. He is a cool dude. He's very chill. He's internet-wise, he's probably got more relative karma than us. We're kind of assholes. So
yeah,
give him a listen and a like and a love. And so that's that. This week, I got a bowl of Frankenberry, and I got to eat that shit while eating's good. So I'm going to eat throughout the podcast. So whatever, fuck you guys. I do also still have a teeny bit of a cough, but it's a lot better. No longer the hacking awful affair it was last week. But this week we're talking about Pokemon. So while I dig in as quietly as I can with a bowl of fresh Frankenberry, boy, why don't you tell us? Because you're not the dyed-in-the-wool, Pokemon master. This is a recent excursion for you. Why don't you tell us about the inception of this, how it happened, why you finally caved, and what your experiences have been like so far?
All right. So for many, many of the years that the Pokemons has been a thing, I've been something of an outsider on the whole phenomenon. I played a little bit of the card game when it first came out.
See, I haven't even done that.
Yeah.
But our friend Lee from the other podcast, you guys remember Lee? He's still, I think, into the card game.
I played a very little bit of it. Then I watched a couple episodes of the show. I was very young at the time, and even then...
It's pretty interminable.
Yeah, I only got a couple episodes in. I believe I also watched the first Pokemon movie.
I haven't even seen that. I saw a review of it.
But...
I didn't get it. Like, I love the games. All that other shit, whatever. I mean, I've watched some episodes of the show when I'm going to sleep and I have a Netflix around. It's either that or Wings. It's just like, this is just boring enough that I can take a nap to it.
Whereas, so, for a long time, I didn't really play many of the games or anything. Actually, I didn't play any of the games. I hadn't played the games. They didn't draw any interest for me. They didn't pull me in at all. And then, I believe, was it just after Twitch Plays Pokemon started, or just before?
I don't remember.
It was right around there.
Yeah, I don't timeline my Pokemon life according to Twitch.
Well, neither do I, but it's just the thing that started it.
It was after my first Nuzlocke, and we were living in this house.
Yeah.
So it was early this year.
Yeah, earlier this year. I actually believe a little before Twitch Plays Pokemon started. It was a little before because I found it amusing.
Two robots playing Pokemon at the same time?
Yes, exactly. But I had been watching him. He was playing in Nuzlocke and always talking about how, amazing it is and how much fun he's having, blah, 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 blah.
No. Do not tell them lies.
No, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
And then he was just sort of describing it in vague terms, and I asked what the deal was, and he explained, and then began to explain how heartbreaking it is, and how terrifying, and how much it is just like not the kind of thing I would ever want to play. Specifically the Nuzlocke challenge, which I'm sure he'll explain later for anyone not into it. I don't feel like it because I'm not up on it.
I'll mention it, but no, go ahead. I'll mention it later.
And then he was telling these stories about what would happen, what his Pokemon were doing, blah, 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 what battles he won, battles he lost. Then I watched a little bit of like a couple Let's Plays of Pokemon, that just happened to be, he was watching them and I was walking by the computer.
They were, Game Grumps, actually.
Yeah, it was the Game Grumps playing Pokemon, and then it was...
Not to name drop or anything, I mean, like, Danny favorited a tweet I made once, but other than that...
No, it's... For me, that's as much like saying I was watching Roseanne.
That's true.
It's just TV. It's not a name drop.
Yeah.
But it finally was too fun. I wanted to play, and I wanted to start from the very beginning. But we didn't have any, at least I don't think he had any cartridges of what did I end up playing? Green? Leaf green?
Which would have been blue in America. Yeah. I have red, but
we
found it after the fact.
I didn't want to play like red and blue, because from what I understand, they're super glitchy.
Oh, God, yeah.
I decided to play Leaf Green. I got an emulator of it on the computer, and I played that. In retrospect, maybe not the best idea, because now I desperately wish I could do things like turn up the walking speed on my regular Pokemon.
Plus, all your best team is stuck on the computer.
Shut up, you.
And Bill can't help you.
I finally caved, and it turns out to be an incredibly fun, I wouldn't say simple, but easy.
Easy to learn, hard to master. It's one of those things. Like, the meta around professional Pokemon, like, combat is so... I mean, it's almost as complex as League of Legends, if not more so. Just in different directions.
It's a very deep game. It's a very complex game. But you need to master exactly 0% of that to actually beat the game.
Yeah, pick mons you like. Understand type advantage. Have
kind
a chart.
of. Understand type advantage, kind of. I had a chart. I'm not gonna lie. I use Bulbapedia. I use Bulbapedia shamelessly.
Bulbapedia, we love you. Almost as much as I love this Frankenberry.
He does love him some Frankenberry.
I prefer Blueberry, but I'm almost out of it. I want to preserve it.
But, so, eventually, this was a couple of days ago.
Last week.
Spork, here made a post on Facebook with his favorite Pokemon. Like, he went to a website and it just has you pick between two. Do you like this one or this one more? And you pick. And
I tweeted about it too. I don't link my Facebook in the description, but if you guys go to my Twitter, I forget the name of the website. I think it's got some dumbass name to it, but it's basically, you pick between two Pokemon and it keeps giving you, and you can skip.
If it's like, too hard. I'm pretty sure there's another lame Pokemon that I would rather have both of these guys.
Yeah.
But when you pick one, it eliminates the one you didn't pick. So after a long process of elimination, I came up with my favorite Pokemon. Now, I warn you, I am very new. I am noob sauce at Pokemon.
Well, now you finished Leaf Green.
I finished Leaf Green.
Now, this was on an emulator, but you didn't cheat.
No, I finished
it. You didn't give yourself rare candies out of nowhere. You didn't.
Could have. Didn't.
Yeah, you could have, but you didn't. And you have done all but the Elite Four on Pearl?
Yeah, all but the Elite Four and obviously the Champ on
Well, yeah.
Pearl. It's just, like, I've done the research on this. He's done research on this. That was the game I happened to pick up after Leaf Green, because that's the one he was out in the middle of the game on. Started playing it. Oh my god. Apparently it's the worst Pokemon game.
Gold wouldn't have been any better. Or Soul Silver, I guess I have. Because it's so fucking long.
Fucking Pearl. This fucking game's interminable, man. I love all the Pokemon I'm using, but I can't anymore. I can't with this bullshit.
I remember the only reason I finished it is because I was playing that while we were role-playing that one campaign of Brandy's with John and Jim.
Oh, yeah.
And when you were doing Jim stuff, I was playing that.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah. God, it was.
It's just now I have so much shit I'd rather be doing. So much shit I'd rather be doing. Which
I
is
came
sad,
home and this motherfucker was asleep on the couch. He would rather be sleeping on the couch than playing Pokemon when he got a healthy-ass night's sleep.
Specifically Pearl. I have a copy of Pokemon X that I'm going to play once I beat Pearl. And no, I'm not skipping. I will not play it until I beat Pearl, damn it.
You gotta transfer them Mons, man.
Right? Look, I missed out on the Mons from my Leaf Green playthrough. I can't transfer them anywhere. But I can transfer these, and I will, damn it. But I just... it's going to be a while. But the games aren't going anywhere. I really want to play X. I think that's part of the reason I haven't beat Pearl is because I saw him playing... You got Y?
Yeah.
I saw him playing Y after I was, like, midway through Pearl and went, oh my god, this is so much better.
Well, see, here's the thing for me. This time it wasn't an orange rock monster. It was the hand from the Addams Family, and he had, like, stuff for me. Anyway. Pearl is kind of like the opposite of X and Y. Diamond and Pearl are. Because Diamond and Pearl are kind of like meandery. You never really know where you're going or what you're doing or why you're going there and doing it. Everything kind of assumes you know Pokemon really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a heavy game. Not as heavy as Black and White, which is probably my favorite to date. But still, storyline-wise, it's not as light as the Team Rocket games. Or even as light as X and Y with fucking Team Flare.
Well, it's not even that the storyline was complicated. No, it's just fucking boring.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's kind of what I meant by heavy. Not... Boring wasn't the word I would have used, but it is also an accurate descriptor. I will not argue with it.
Alright.
But, whereas X and Y are just like, here, have some free candy. You know all this stuff that's been super hard to do in Pokemon so far? It's easy now. Also, have the best EXP share ever. Great day to be you. That's
the part I want, is that EXP shit.
And the egg hatching paths. Oh my god. It's a fun game, though. It's, like I said, Black and White, those are my favorites.
But yeah, no, and I've got a list of my favorite Pokemon here. I assume you have your, like, post of the favorite Pokemon nearby.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over really quick.
Yeah, please do. If you have any good reasons, give us the reasons. I know some of your playthrough Pokemon are on here. I think the listener would love to hear some of the names you came up with and why.
Okay, I'm going to go from
10 to 1?
10 to 1.
That sounds smart.
I'm going to have to look up the name for some of these.
That's Pangoro.
Pangoro is number 10. Now, I have not played with this Pokemon. I don't even know what game he's from. But
he's from X and Y.
Do me a favor. Google this motherfucker. Look at him. Look at this badass fucking Yakuza Enforcer Panda. Tell me you don't love this.
He is, though. That's what I love about him, because there's some complex shit to it. Okay, he starts out as Pancham, right? Which is a cute little panda cub with a grass reed in his mouth. And
a grass reed in his mouth?
Yeah, well,
that's amazing.
Pangoro's got it too.
I know.
He's fighting type, right? Just fighting type. Well, he evolves to Pangoro by being in a party with a dark type Pokemon. And when he evolves, he looks more aggressive. He's, bigger and meaner. And you can't see it on the sprite you have here, but the back of his fur looks like coattails commonly worn by youth street toughs in Japan.
Oh my god.
So he literally falls into a bad crowd and becomes a fighting dark type.
I love it. I love it so much. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love him. I don't really like dark types that much. Otherwise, because he was in my party very briefly, long enough to evolve him into Pangoro and go, oh yeah, I don't like dark types that much. But he's awesome.
Alright, the next one up on this list, number 9, I guess, is Pidgeotto. Now, this is obviously from my Leaf Green. Most of these are actually characters, or actually Pokemon I got in Leaf Green, or Pokemon I got and then never used because my party was already set up, and that pissed me off because I wanted to use them. But this one's one of the ones who was my main 6, spelled correctly, this is My Little Pony, through Leaf Green, and that was, and some of you are going to be like, what the fuck? When I tell you the name I gave him.
I was.
It's a long story, and I will explain, but I had to preface. The name was City Face.
Like if a town had eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
City Face.
City Face.
Now, the reason for this is a webcomic that I read. It's called Gunner Crib Court. You can look it up. He does little interstitial comics between story arcs sometimes of what is essentially it's a humor thing. It's very light. It's very different from the rest of the comic. Stories about Cityface, the world's best pigeon. Best at everything. Most popular. Yes, I said popular. With other pigeons as well as with humans. Best actor. And that's where the name came from. I like to make all my actual names references of some kind. They don't have to be really super deep, but I prefer them not to be like, oh yeah, this one is a fire guy. I will name him Moltros. But yeah, no, that's what Pidgeotto's
It's actually a Pokemon.
I know.
Okay.
I would name a different Pokemon Moltros to confuse my enemies. You see. But that's where the name came from, and I liked him because, well, I mean, you play at least 20 hours of gameplay with with a little dude, and you get attached to them. This is one of the reasons I can't play Nuzlocke, because no, dude. One, I'm way too much of a fucking perfectionist when I play video games. That is probably the one really bad trait with video games I have left, is I'm a huge fucking perfectionist. It shows in the way I end up having beaten the games. Mass Effect 2, I didn't lose a single party member. Mass Effect 3, I came up with, like, the best end that you could get. I gotta go back and play it because there's a very slightly better end that I could have, and yes, that means I have to do it again. And this was trial and error, and this was playing again, and this was looking shit up online once I'd gotten past spoilers, and on long games that I invest a lot of time in, I'm a fucking perfectionist. So I couldn't play Nuzlocke because the first time I lost a Pokemon, I'd be like, what do? I just start over now, right?
No, you have to keep going.
No!
With the memories. And every time somebody else throws out that Pokemon, you're like, no, I had one once.
No, bro. No. Next one up is Luxray. Luxray is badass.
Yeah, Luxray's are pretty cool. I had one once.
Has good types. Can use dark type moves, which, since I didn't have a psychic Pokemon in Pearl in my party, super useful. Since I didn't have a dark type or anything like that, I need that dark type move to get past psychic bullshit. And had some really solid electric type moves as well. Not to mention that it looks really badass. I had a female Luxray. I named her Livewire. I'm gonna go ahead and explain this one, but this one's not deep, I assume.
It's after the DC character, not the AC/DC song.
Yeah, not the AC/DC song.
Or no, wait, was that Motley Crue?
I don't remember, honestly. But yeah, no, it's after the...
Fozzy covered it. I can't remember off the top of my head. Ooh, I feel bad now.
But after the DC villain.
Look it up.
And then... that was very simple. Just is a very useful Pokemon. Had great types. Happy with one of the first ones I caught. I liked it a lot.
AC/DC and Motley Crue both have a song called Livewire.
That explains why we were confused. After neither of those. The next one up...
I feel like less of a rock failure now.
You were confused. Because, yes, both. You were right. Is... Oh god, what is this Pokemon's name?
Torterra, I believe?
I'll have to look it up. I'm going to have to look it up because I love this Pokemon. He's probably...
It's Turtwig and Torterra. I'm almost positive.
I'm sorry, I remember. Torterra. Yes. Bulbapedia, I love you. I'm going to look. I'm going to use you to be... Yeah, Torterra. Alright. This is straight up. This is my starter from Pearl. That's why I love him, because I become very attached to my starters.
Like anybody. I mean, that's like, popular Pokemon, very popular Pokemon, you're mostly going to find the Generation 1 starters.
Yeah.
Because they're on, like, everybody's top 10 lists at least once. Because that was your baby,
Hey, you're not wrong.
No, I mean, that's just how it is.
Torterra, I gave him the name Atuin, after Discworld's world turtle. It just seemed appropriate, mostly. He's also really, really great because of some of the early moves he gets are things like Withdraw, which ups his defense. So there was a couple hard gym battles that I got through just by popping him out front, withdrawing until his defense was as high as possible, and shoving milk down his throat until they were out of PP, and then bringing in my vulnerable Pokemon.
I love playing the long game. It's funny.
Nope. Milks. Two milks. Such milk. Can't kill. Very nom. The next one up is a Pokemon who I've never actually used. I had one in Leaf Green, but I ended up using him because my party was already set. But I fucking love this Pokemon.
Yeah, he's cool.
Because he's really ridiculous and really funny. And that's Scyther. Scyther is amazing. There are a couple other Pokemon who look kind of like Scyther, but aren't as cool.
I like Caesar.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you've been listening so far, I expect the both of us to fucking manhandle Pokemon names.
Oh yeah, if I'm not pronouncing these right, I just want to say, for the record, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care either. I've seen some of the correct pronunciations of some of the Pokemon, including one that's very near and dear to my heart, and I'm sorry, you're wrong. That pronunciation is bad.
No, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
But I love Scyther. Purely aesthetics. I don't even know what his
Scyther
moves.
is super popular.
I don't even know what his moves are.
He's bug type.
Well, no, I can tell he's bug type.
Fly?
I would assume bug
I
fly.
think Caesar's bug steel, which is
More useful.
adding steel type to anything almost always makes it way better.
Because steel type is just broke. I to this day, there's actually no steel types on my list here because I fucking hate steel types. They're douchebags. Specifically, Bronzor is probably my least favorite Pokemon. I hate that prick. I hate that fucking floating douchebag. I hate Bronzor so much.
Least favorite Pokemon? I'll have to think about that one. That's unusual.
But the next one is this is a weird pattern I determined. I apparently am fond of weird-looking bugs and birds. I can't remember the name of this at all.
That's Staraptor. I believe.
Yeah, Staraptor. I remember that now.
Starly, Staravia, Staraptor.
Yeah, Staraptor. Again, partially because he looks like a Japanese street tough.
Yeah, you do have a lot of Japanese street toughs on here.
I like street toughs. What do you want?
Even the hair on the Pidgeot there is like,
it's smooth. There's a level of smoothness. But Staraptor, I named Kuwabara after the Japanese street tough from the anime Yu Yu Hakusho. And I like him because his moves are really fucking useful.
He's like one of my favorite stupid first-time flying types. And
flying type with some decent fighting type moves, that's actually that's useful in a lot of ways.
Visually, I like male Unfazant better, but and I'll pull one up here
because I have no idea what the fuck it is.
But Staraptors all over, yeah, no, they're awesome. Go ahead and talk about either that more or your next one while I pull up that Unfazant so you can be pleased.
And I picked, there's a couple different, like, starting bird types that you can get in Pearl, and I was trying to decide which one I wanted to raise and put in my party and, feed vitamins and invest in,
And this here is
oh, man, that thing's amazing.
Right?
Its Lucha mask is great. But...
It's probably supposed to be unpheasant, like unpleasant, but whatever. I like to believe it's a pheasant.
A pheasant. I like it. But...
Yeah, no, I agree. Staraptor's a really good Pokemon.
Staraptor's really cool, really useful, and ultimately I ended up picking the Starly, not based on Starly at all. I googled what they turn into, these couple different Pokemon I was trying to decide between for what I'm going to use, basically the fly monkey that I need, who's going to be in my party.
Slaves. They call them slaves.
I would assume they would be called monkeys if they were actually monkeys.
Possibly.
But, the fly slave that I would need, I ended up going with Starly because I looked at them both and Staraptor was way cooler than the other one, so... the next one I know the name of because it's a Gen 1 Pokemon, and for some reason, probably because I've seen a couple episodes of the show, and thus the first 151 are somehow burned into my brain. That's Parasect.
Parasect's great.
I had a Paras. I don't think I ever actually got it turned into a Parasect. I was just, I lost the desire to. I forget what I named my Paras. Probably... No, I don't remember the actual name, because I forget the name of this fungus, but I named my Paras the fungus that takes over insects and forces them to climb up trees to get as high as possible so it can spread its spores, specifically ants, down onto the lower ants and get more ants infected to get them up to the top of the tree and spread more spores.
So one of the many sorts of creatures that the Paras was based on.
Yeah.
Parasect, rather.
I named him after that specific one because it had a really cool name, but I don't remember what it was. It's very simple. I like him. He's very amusing looking. He's a mushroom crab.
The next one is going to require a little explanation.
The next one
a little backstory.
The next one is going to require explanation because the next one almost, I swear to God, was number 1. But a weird interloper, like a new challenger, appeared and bumped him down to 3. Again, but this one is one of the top 6 I had. My party members from Leaf Green, and near and dear to my heart for a lot of reasons. It's Kadabra, not Alakazam. I like Kadabra better because I don't have to rely on some asshole not giving me my Kadabra back.
Not that I would ever do that. He was obviously on an emulator, but
yeah, I couldn't possibly get Alakazam when I played Leaf Green, and I love Kadabra. Specifically, his name was Fu Manchu, and here's why.
Yeah, there are 2 reasons. Well, 3, I guess. Look, he's got a Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah.
Alright. Years ago, like a decade, I made a Pokemon parody comic called Fumon, which stood for Fucked Up Monsters, because I was a teenager. And,
what a great reason, because it's true.
And instead of a Pikachu, the main character had a Fu Manchu, or a Fu Manchu, I can't remember what I called it. Which was like Fu Manchu, like a little Fu Manchu. Specifically the one that was played by... Oh God, who was that? Peter Sellers? Was he the one who played that? I'll look it up in a minute. The one in the comedy Fu Manchu. I had seen, that movie. This has been so long ago I can't even remember. Excuse me, I don't have this data. I forgot about this. So he's a silly little Fu Manchu, and he caught on. People like him. So, that being the case, eventually I'm going to put out my Nuzlocke run in video format. The stories, I'm drawing pictures, we're doing some fun stuff with it, I have plans, but it's going to be a little ways off. However, if you want to avoid spoilers, fast forward about 1 minute, okay? I'll give you a second to pause and get everything in order. Okay, here it comes in Micro Machine's voice. So early in the game, I got a Fu Manchu. I got an Alakazam. I named him Fu Manchu after the Fumon Fu Manchu. Played forever. He was like my best Pokemon. Took out everything. Survived against all odds. And then I lost him on the fucking Sevi Islands to a fucking exploding coughing. And the boy, who didn't play Pokemon at that time, was as devastated as I was.
He was so cool!
Oh, he was such a good Pokemon. He had dark glasses on, and it was all this whole mystique. Once you see the video, you'll understand how it all plays out. All right, I'm gonna pause here and wait for the nice viewers to catch up. Okay, good. Yeah.
Everybody back?
Are you back? All right, cool. That's basically the second reason. Is it was named after that other character. So
I decided to, take up the torch and have a Fu Manchu of my very own when I got an Abra. And this is actually one of the reasons I love this Kadabra so much is because it was.
We don't even call them Abras and Kadabra. We call them Fu Manchus. It's why he keeps trying to come out of our mouths.
You know what? Now that you know, I'm just gonna. I call that Fu Manchu. That is the name of that. I don't call that a fucking Staraptor. That's Kuwabara. I don't call that a Luxray. That's Livewire. I don't call that Torterra. That's Atuine. in my head, these Pokemon's names are the thing I named them.
Torterra is actually one of those ones where it happens to me. I call, like, the first thing that pops into my head is Golimar, which was the name I named mine.
Which is awesome. But it was pure luck. Alright, so people who've caught, you folks who do the Pokermans, know that Abras are somewhat difficult to catch.
I bought mine.
I didn't. I caught this
roll.
motherfucker in the wild. I had a regular fucking... Actually, it was a Premier Ball. It was the one you get for free. For buying 10 Pokeballs.
Here, have this shit ball. We didn't even bother painting it all the way.
And, like, I had, like, 5... no, it wasn't even. I had seen him lose a bunch of Abras in the wild. I'd never seen one myself in the wild. First Abra I ever see, ever playing Pokemon. First turn, I go, that motherfucker's gonna leave the next turn. Toss a Pokeball. Works.
Didn't have to put it to sleep, didn't have to do anything. Just,
Nope.
Just
Bam, and he wanted to come to me. That's what it was.
It's destiny, my friend.
So I gave him the dark sunglasses, and I got my ass through a psychic gym.
Yeah, no, it's tough there. That's a tough gym.
Not with that fucking Pokemon.
No, yeah, he helps a lot.
I blew through that bitch.
Especially if you've got a dark type move and dark sunglasses. I think the one you get is Thief or Pursuit, something
Thief.
like that.
I think it's Thief. But I wish I could pull up my Leaf Green playthrough because I don't remember what I named this next Pokemon, which is sad because he was in my party. It's just his actual name is so cool, it does the reverse of the normal thing. The next one on my Pokemon on the list is Kingler. Not Krabby. Krabby's a douche. Kingler. Look, he was my surf dude.
Yeah, because you didn't have a water starter, did you?
Nope, I had myself...
See, that's how I roll. I usually, when I play a game the first time, I'll grab the water starter.
Just to have surf right there.
Just to guarantee my fucking surf. And it's dumb because there's so many awesome water Pokemon that I never get to use. Like, I was looking at, like, on the fucking Bulbapedia, looking at a Corsola the other day going, aren't you cute? Aren't you an interesting little fucking chunk of coral? I will never get to use you.
But yeah, no, this was my surf guy. I forget what I named him. It was some manner of, like, I think I named him something from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater on the basis of the crab battle joke alone. But I can't remember.
Crab battle.
Like the sorrow or something.
I didn't remember you having a Kingler, so
Yeah.
That shows how much I was paying attention.
Of
course, you don't catch those until, like, way later, so...
I actually had a different Pokemon who had surf. I kicked his ass. I kicked that one out for fucking King. Look how cool it is with its fucking giant crap
yeah,
fight
they're so
claw.
cool. I had one recently, but they're so weak to start before they evolve.
Oh god, yeah, no. That's why I said Krabby's a douche. Krabby dies in like 2 hits.
Yeah.
You know what? He didn't even fight until he evolved. He was in the back of my party with the EXP share strapped on.
Wear this stupid hat and just be there.
Until you're a Kingler, you don't show up. That leaves the number one, my starter from Leaf Green. I fucking love this Pokemon. Both because he was my starter, because, like most people who play Pokemon, I have a weird little, like, personality that he's developed in my brain.
That's the beauty of the game, though.
And because it's just a really cool Pokemon, and probably the Pokemon in the show that I like the best, unlike the 2 episodes I watched of it. And
that's the other thing you finally watched that got you into Pokemon. We watched the new one.
The new Pokemon movie. The one that
the short.
Yeah, the short.
The series, yeah.
It takes it fucking a little more seriously.
It's the actual Pokemon game. It's Red. It's not Ash.
And I love this particular Pokemon in that one, too.
Yeah.
Because in that one, that's his starter.
Yeah, and it's so good.
And it's Charizard. What else could it be? It's fucking Charizard. Charizard is cool. Only 6 feet tall, which I always forget. He's actually a little shorter than me, which is weird. Because he looks giant. He's a fucking dragon. But I love him. His name is Odaving from Skyrim. Because he's a red-ass, dragon-ass thing, which is Odaving from Skyrim.
I just like to be along with you, listener. Let me just agree with you. Isn't it cute? He's like a 10-year-old boy playing Pokemon for the first time. Wow, a dragon with a fire tail. He's awesome. He's my best friend. He's only 6 feet tall. Whatever, he's as big as my dad. Cool.
You know what?
No, I ain't hating at all. It's precious.
Death before adulthood. This shit is cool.
There you go. It sounds like a fist pound over that. There you go. So that's what ended up being your top 10 through the Pokemon generator, huh?
Yeah. And I don't have any problems with that at all.
No, yeah.
I'm a little surprised a couple of the ones I really liked didn't make it in, but they would go up against those guys and just be like, no, it's not.
I'll come back and mention my first playthrough of that where I didn't realize that you could use a skip feature. But a little quicker, I'm going to go through mine here. Number 10 on mine, because this isn't supposed to be a top 10 list necessarily, but these are quicker, these are shorter, you don't need to go into as much detail. It's not like, I appreciate this Pokemon's aesthetic. You know, it's interesting how the actors... No, we can just say, this Pokemon, I love it.
Yeah, but this is also a great way to talk about why I like Pokemon.
It is. It's a fantastic way, and I think it's it's eating up a chunk of time. I appreciate that too.
Hey, I filled my half of the podcast. There we go.
You don't need to say shit again. I got through my bowl of Frankenberry. It's all good. Number 10 on my list is Swampert. No, not Mudkip. I love Mudkip, and I love... Actually, I'm not really fond of Marshtomp, even though I like his name better. Swampert's a badass. Swampert is water ground. Swampert is a big catfish guy. I always named him Fat Kish because when I got Sapphire, I couldn't think of a good name and I just wanted to play the fucking game. So I was like, what? Okay, no, for serious though. My red starter was Squirtle, whom I named Bubble Ass. And it's like...
Douchebag.
Well, because, I didn't give a fuck. It was back when I was, like, a teenager, so I was just, whatever, bubble ass. I put ass in a game. So now, when I'm building up my Pokedex, getting all of them caught and all that shit, like I was doing in X and Y, and I'm sitting there like, alright, let's give this Blastoise to be the name of my original start. What was? Oh, Bubble Ass. No. No. Fat Kish is okay though, because it makes him sound fat, but what the fuck ever. Who cares?
Fat Kish.
He mega evolves in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I can't wait. Looking forward to it. I've told myself I'm not allowed to play it until I finish my Soul Silver Nuzlocke though. And I'm only halfway through. So, next up is... Shit, what's the name of this Pokemon?
Yeah, see, it's fucking hard sometimes.
Oh no, I know this. Krogunk? I want to say it's Krogunk. Let's double check and make sure here. Krogunk, the Pokemon. Nope, what's it evolve into?
It's early. It's later on in the
Yeah,
chain.
it's the second one. Toxicroak. Yeah, Krogunk just looks like some stoner. Toxicroak's like gonna fuck you up.
He is, and he's got this. I mean, I know it's just a frog's like bulbous thingamajig.
His throat sack.
His throat sack. It just looks like he has a big red nutsack on his chin. I'm gonna be honest.
Whatever, that's his nutsack of power.
You know what? It is. He's a Balchinian. That's what it is.
Dude, I ran into that thing. It's probably the best thing to come out of Gen 4. I'll be perfectly fucking honest with you. There's a lot of stuff I like in that generation, but he is cool as hell. Poison fighting. I like fighting type. I've always liked fighting type as sort of a secondary typing. I did not realize how much I liked poison type until Generation 5. Until playing Pokemon as an adult, really. Because in my youth, I was all about, like, water types and rock types. I had a very basic setup. And then I went for some stuff because it was cool. But my love lives in fucking poison types. Which you'll see more of, as in the case of the next one. Haunter. Which... No, not Gengar. I think Gengar. I don't really like his design as much. Mega Gengar's awesome, especially shiny Mega Gengar. But Haunter looks cool, and when I was a kid, I didn't have any friends. I couldn't trade with him.
To be fair, Haunter does look cooler than Gengar.
Yeah, he's got floaty hands, and he's like, Rah!
He's got floaty hands, but not like Rayman floaty hands, which look stupid. They look cool.
I had a good setup on my Haunter, who I named Rob Zombie every time. I forget what I named my Krogunk, my Toxicroak. Whatever. But I had him with Hypnosis or something like it, and Dream Eater, and Nightshade, and then I think I had some sort of elemental move to round things out.
No, I remember what I named my Kingler. I actually named him Keith.
Oh yeah, Keith!
After a pet crab we used to have, who died.
Who was named after the guy's friend, the redneck's friend in Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah!
Who ate crawdads.
So we named the crab, well actually, we named the crab we got Keith, and then that crab died, so I got a digital crab who's never gonna die, and I named him Keith.
Hooray! Haunter's awesome. I can't even go into it any more than that. Ghost typing sucks these days because everybody gets dark type moves for free. I figured that out with the help of my friend Dai. I was looking at my Pokemon roster. I loved ghost types. Now I see them and I'm like, that's nice with the ghost type. Who gives a fuck? That just doesn't float with me. I mean, I'm undead, you know? So I opined on Twitter why I don't like them anymore. My friend Dai, good guy, said that it was probably the introduction of Dark type in Gen 2, and I was like, no, I still liked him until Gen 3, when fucking everything got Dark type moves for free. So everything I ran into had Bite. And it just
Which will just fuck up your ghost type.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point to me sending... It's like, you can almost guarantee anything with a mouth is going to have Bite. And if it doesn't, it might have Pursuit. But anyway, next up is Scolipede, who is bug poison.
Who looks fucking badass, by the way.
I know, and they're huge, too. Again, I can't remember what the fuck I named mine off the top of my head. It was something cool. He was in my party in black. I love Gen 5. Gen 5 is probably my favorite gen, which is ironic because most people fucking hate it. But there's just so many cool Pokemon designs. You know, they do this every generation, really, but this was the first time that I really felt like they kept the exact same spirit of the original generation of Pokemon when they remade them. I mean, it just felt really good. Yeah, Scolipede's great. He gets such great moves. He's so strong. He's a beefy bug.
And you don't see that.
No, he's a beefy bug poison even. I mean, he's like Nidoking meets Scyther. He's awesome. I wish I could remember what I named this motherfucker. Next up on my list is Parasect. I like him for the same reason. He's a bug that's infested by fungus. I mean, that's just awesome. That's awesome. A lot of undead shit on my list, speaking of which. I never get to have him in parties. He was in my second Sapphire run through, just a regular run. But I, obviously, for obvious reasons, I haven't really used him since. Hold on. Nincada. No? Shedinja. There we go. Nincada, Ninjask, Shedinja. There we are. He's so unique and interesting. I love his lore. I love the fact that it says in his Pokedex entry that if you stare in the hole in his back where the Shedinja came, or where the Ninjask came out of, that like it steals your soul. But his back's bright, you're staring directly into the hole. I love the fact that he's got one hit point and he's got that cool ability that the Wonder Guard, I think it's called, that only stuff he's that's super effective against him will hurt him at all. I think that's awesome. I would love to experiment and see if there were a reliable way to like make him sturdy or set up that there's like some way you can goad your opponent into using an ability on you that makes you a different type, so that there's like two things you're weak to and that's it. But even still, he's really cool. And he looks awesome. Up from that is Shiftry. I only recently actually got one because, as I mentioned a couple times, I had Sapphire, not Ruby. And while I did have a friend to trade with, for whatever reason, I never got a C-Dot. Shiftry's cool. Shiftry's like, I know he's dark type, grass dark, but he's like the coolest. I mean, he's an old man tree. An angry old man tree. If you remember the League of Legends thing, though.
He's Maokai?
Yeah, he's fucking Maokai. Trevenant's cool. Trevenant's grass ghost. But I like Pumpkaboo better. Not the evolution. Gourgeist looks dumb. Up from that, I did not think this Pokemon would climb up my list of favorites as fast as it did. I mean, I know a lot of people really love Gen 6 Pokemon, and there's none on my top 10 list thus far. Until this one. And the second I saw it, I went, I need you. Esper. Not the evolutions. The dead-eyed, I've seen some shit, stare that is Esper. Esper is awesome. I had a female one. I named her Fluffmodius after the evil bear in Something Positive. Also because she is clearly a master of all evil and fluffy.
Yeah.
I love feeding her shit in Pokemon Ami because she's still got that dead-eyed sort of like, what? She's like, this candy's delicious.
I'm looking at it here, like, I had to pull it out on my phone to get a closer look. This is, because it just looks like a little gray fucking splotch of ink from where I'm seeing it on the computer over there.
Oh, do yourself a favor. You got an Android phone. Google image search, Esper. Espurr. Because it's a cat.
Okay.
I like the evolutionary line, too. I like that the male and female turn into different things. I like their coloring and all that shit.
I like that in general in Pokemon. The Rose Pokemon in Pearl, that's the first time I saw it in Pearl. Roselia, I think, does the same thing.
Yeah, and Roselia and Roserade, they have.
Then I've always liked the Nidorino, Nidoking, Nidoqueen line.
Yeah.
I think they look really cool. Oh wow. Sorry, I just got the image search. That appears to be the thing everyone likes about him. Oh look, man. I found hipster Esper.
Yeah, Esper's just cool. Whatever. I like that Pokemon a lot. Pure Psychic type, too. And I taught mine Signal Beam and some electric move, I forget what. So, like, she had 2 Psychic moves, and then, like, just for coverage, she had a Bug move and that electric thing. And I was just like, you can't fuck with her. She was the best Pokemon on my team. By leaps and bounds. Better than my fucking Greninja. Better than fucking Yveltal. She was just a boss. I did evolve her because I wanted better stats, but... number 2.
This is that one we mentioned earlier, where there's the accepted pronunciation, and then the one both of us use because it's better.
In the anime, this Pokemon, which is my number 2 favorite Pokemon, and I know I used the list thingy for this, but other than my top 3, or other than everything below the top 3, that could be mixed around. I could argue back and forth for various reasons the rest of the 10. They're valid. They seem like my favorite Pokemon. I'm not going to argue with that. But the top 3, that holy trinity, they are in order. This is my number 2 favorite Pokemon, period. In the anime, they call him Garbodor. No. This Pokemon's name is Garbodor! Like Luchador, but with garbage.
Which, I get the pun in Garbodor, I get it, but no, Garbodor's way better. Garbodor's a better name.
Well, look at his stupid fucking face. It looks like he's saying, Garbodor! Like, I know that's the Pokemon thing in the anime, but this is the first one I've ever seen that literally looks like that's exactly what they're saying. I like how he's waving like, hey guys!
I don't get why he likes this stupid fucking trash Pokemon so much. I don't mean trash like that, I mean trash as in, it's literally fucking garbage.
Oh man, okay, so like, when Gen 5 and Black and White were getting hype when coming out, I wasn't following it like everybody else was. Like, I had lapsed out of Pokemon because Diamond and Pearl. So, like, I knew that they were coming out the week before they came out. I was like, do what now? I have to go to the store. And I saw a little bit of hate. They were like, this generation's Pokemon are so trash. There's a garbage and an ice cream and this booger bear and I'm like,
Bears are garbage.
I don't know, it's not bad. Man, I fucking ran into a Trubbish and in the fucking whatever junkyard you run into these assholes and I'm like, he's so cute.
Here's the thing. It's a great Pokemon because, it's very funny looking. But this is the thing you always mock Stephen King for. The guys over at Game Freak were like, what the fuck can we make into a Pokemon? Shit, I don't even know. Son of a bitch. Maintenance guy walks by with like one of those little skivs, the little ones with rolly wheels on the bottom filled with garbage bags. I've got it.
And if the Mangler
This is the haunted...
were half as charismatic as fucking Garbodor...
This is a haunted desk clown. This is ridiculous.
No, I mean,
the Mangler was cool. Fuck you.
Garbodor is cooler. You know what? Okay, here's the thing, alright? I don't deal with laundry presses a lot. I'm not scared of laundry presses, okay?
You ever seen one? I looked one up. They're fucking scary.
Oh yeah, they're scary looking. I'm not going to argue with that. I've seen one with red lighting as an advertisement for the Mangler. Alright, that's one thing, okay? Here we've got a Pokemon now I remind you, this isn't even my favorite. I've still got my favorite to talk about here. We've got a Pokemon who started out as a small bag of garbage. This bag of garbage has clearly gone wrong. The bag is mostly like a mask, I guess. He is a garbage, okay? So, fighting this thing across the battle, the other Pokemon, fuck the other trainer, okay? First of all, there's rank-ass old garbage smell, alright? There's the constant fear that garbage water might get on you.
Oh, no.
Because you gotta imagine he's just sloshing with it. And there's the lovable fucking look on his face. And he's poison type, which is like my favorite type at this point. We're running out of time, man. What the fuck, podcast? Let's get to my favorite. I'm so happy gets a Mega Evolution. I will punch somebody I like in the face, not my wife, to get a Mega Evolution for Garbodor, by the way. Just putting that out there. Game Freak, if you want to see some fat white guy punch someone in the face that he likes. Full force, too. I won't hold back. Not my wife.
It'll be me. We both know it'll be me.
I would really rather not punch my mom or my dad or my grandma. But no, I'm not gonna punch my grandma. She's old. But anybody else?
I love how you're like adding caveats, like they're actually gonna take you up on this.
Well, you know what? If I get a phone call tomorrow and they're like, "Hey, would you like to get Garbodor Mega Evolve?" and I'm like, "Shit, I should have left my mom and my wife out." You said.
And then you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think about it. I can't do it. Then Garbodor never gets a Mega Evolution.
He gets in the shit pile now. Why do you have a shit pile? For you. Whatever, fuck it. My favorite gets a Mega Evolution. This is my favorite Pokemon, Audino. Yes, another 5th gen. I love this little fucker because he is pure and good. Look, he's happy. He just wants a hug.
He looks way out of place given the rest of your list.
Yeah, he does. Like, it's all terrifying monstrosities.
Like, alright, there's the beginning, which is the beef-armed fuck you mans for punchinating. And then...
Then Uggos.
Then terror sects.
3 of them right in a row. Different kinds. We have the Gargantuan Gargan. That's what I named him, Gargan. After the bugs in Final Fantasy IX. Anyway, we got the zombie, and we have the unholy...
unholy, like...
shell. It's a shed. I fucking love the concept behind that.
It's just...
Something left this thing, and this thing is still a Pokemon. It's like, I still got it. Let's go.
Then there's a fucking angry nature spirit, a traumatized little, like, scarebeast.
Talk about Stephen King.
And literal garbage.
And then this friendly pink thing is just like,
hello.
Oh.
It's just kind of, one of these things is not like the others.
But, yeah, I caught one early in Black, and, you beat him up for extra experience. But the little thing came out, and I was like, I love you. And he learned Return. He learned Revenge, I think is the name of the move. When a Pokemon dies, if you bring that guy in, he uses that move and fucks you up. He learned some sort of healing move. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. And some sort of defense move. And he was there. He was I got this shit Pokemon. He was my last gasp. He was my emergency go-to on my first playthrough of Black. And I named him Siren. That's a pretty cool name. I'm working on a competitive party right now. He's in it. So is Garbodor, for the record.
That's right. In his competitive Pokemon party, Garbodor's gonna be there, everybody.
Fuck yeah, Garbodor can be really fucking cool. Now, when I originally went through this, like I said, I didn't realize I could
Skip.
So, it went Parasect, what's that thing's name? Whimsicott, which I do like Whimsicott. Ludicolo, which I also really like.
Fucking Happy Chiquita Banana Duck, what?
It's some kind of pineapple, I think. A Gliscor, whichever one's a later evolution.
Super bad.
Shedinja, Esper, Toxicroak. What the fuck is that thing called? Escavalier? The one that looks like a ninja that's related to that line. Because he looks like a badass bug ninja. Garbodor Audino. And I was like, wow, I'm surprised Esper's that low, but I didn't understand there was a skip, so Toxicroak and the ninja bug, they got up there first. Yeah, so that's that. I do Nuzlocke. That's basically all I've been playing. When Y came out, I did a regular run through. I thought the game was way too easy. I loved it, but it's way too easy. I haven't picked up Omega Ruby yet because I'm forcing myself to get through this last Nuzlocke. And I do intend on showing you my Nuzlocks. I've done one in Leaf Green. I did one in Black, and I'm in the middle of my Soul Silver one. Then, once I pick up Omega Ruby, I'm going to Nuzlocke that too. Because I played Sapphire like 5 times when I was a kid. I don't need to play it again. You know, I know those Pokemon. So I'm going to Nuzlocke that. At some point, I'm going to go back and Nuzlocke Black 2 or White 2, one of them. And I might pick up Diamond or Pearl. That story is so...
I wouldn't advise it. Also, I still might not have beat it.
I'm looking forward to Z or whatever the new X and Y is. I'm really happy to have Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire as my favorite of the Pokemon games, other than Black. But it's got my favorite feature, which was the contests. I don't care about the little singy dancy games. Those are dumb. Talent show, Pokeathlon, fuck all that shit. It's not fun. The contests were cool as fuck. Because they were like battles, but not. You don't even fucking know what I'm talking about. You chose like different...
Pearl has beauty pageants.
They're dumb.
I haven't even played one.
Instead of elemental types, each of your moves would also have like a reaction type. I think it's cool, cute, some kind of angry, fury maybe, I don't know. Beauty and smart, I believe is what they are. And you try to win the judges over by doing moves of that type. But some of the moves also have like additional effects. Like you do this move and the Pokemon who goes after you can't do a move. And you all forego, one at a time depending on something, I don't remember. And there's so many rounds and then they decide who's the winner at the end. It's just like a different way to battle, basically. Because you're using the same fucking moves, the same shit you cultivated.
And great for Nuzlocke, because you can battle without the risk of, like, at the end, they're not going to come out like the Enforcers in the Hunger Games and cap all the Pokemon who don't do as good.
Well, you don't get... you have to go to a specific place, and you don't get experience for it. But you do get, like, some items and stuff.
Ooh.
It's way more fun than it sounds. The first time I went through Sapphire, I was like, what is this? I don't even care. But post-game, I was fucking around. I'm like, well, hold on, this is kind of fun. This is way better than Secret Base.
Then there was... you know what? Actually, I wanted to mention, one of the reasons I don't like Pearl is because of the routes. The routes and the way they're positioned and the Pokemon that are on them. Look, the middle of the game, there's like a fucking 8-year stretch where I run into nothing but Bronzors. These like 6 routes that are just nothing but fucking Bronzors is why I hate Bronzor. Because I only have like 2 Pokemon that have moves that even fucking matter to this Pokemon. and it has these dick-ass psychic moves that make it really hard to damage. And that's not the only problem. The only fire type you can get in the game, unless you go with the fire starter, who I don't like in that game. He's a stupid fire monkey. He doesn't look cool. He looks dumb.
I like his final evolution.
Even then, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Same, really. I mean, we're talking about a game where my other options are Empoleon and Torterra.
And I, having played only 2 Pokemon games, I can now state firmly I like fire starters. I like fire starters because of the damage they do early, and because a lot of the early Pokemon you run into are like grass and bug and shit.
A lot of people put a lot of stock into the gyms, but you can catch to counter the gyms. You know, when you're fighting wild Pokemon, something strong like that matters.
Mm-hmm. Especially early. It's a great way to get up and running and to, damage some early Pokemon, a lot so you can catch them. Because I like to fill out all 6 slots as quickly as possible. I can replace you with a better Pokemon if I need to, but I try and fill out all 6 slots as quickly as possible. I don't know if that's the normal thing, or if people like save spots for the Pokemon they want there. I don't know. But I hate the way the routes are done. I hate the utilization of the bike. I don't like the fucking highway route. I don't like so much of the getting around part of that game that until I got Fly, I was like anti having fun. And even once I got Fly, there's so much shit you have to go and go, oh look, a new route that goes exactly to this one place and then comes the fuck back.
I like Black and White. I like Black specifically. White's the same. I hear White has a better endgame city, but I don't really do a lot of shit post-game. Well, I didn't until X and Y. I love the story. I love Pokemon PETA. I like that they're not necessarily portrayed as evil, like the figureheads are, but the organization itself is very conflicted. I really like that. I like that there are people within Team Plasma that are like, hey, we're here helping Pokemon, man. We're doing the right thing. And it's like, oh no, you poor misguided soul.
Like the real PETA.
I love...
Shots fired.
I love so many of the Pokemon in that game. The grass starter, the Pokemon... Black was the only time I still haven't chosen the water starter. Because Oshawott looks like shit. The one after it...
That's the reason I didn't pick Fire Monkey.
The one after it only looks a little better, and its final, which I believe is Samurott. Duwat, I believe is the second one. Samurott is only marginally less shitty.
Was Pearl the one with the other Pokemon I was really surprised didn't make it into my top 10? Is that the one with Snively in it?
Snivy's Black and White.
Okay. If I didn't care that he's apparently awful with like bad moves and terrible stats, I swear to God, if I ever play Black and White, Superior. I am getting Superior. Superior is amazing.
It's kind of lame because he's pure grass type, which they haven't done in a while. Like, grass always seems to get the ass end of the stick there.
In terms of type advantages, yeah.
Torterra's grass ground, isn't he?
Yeah,
so that's pretty good. And I believe Chespin is grass fighting. Don't quote me on that. And that's cool.
But yeah, no, he's I don't care that he's not good. I don't care. Superior, Smugleaf, we're gonna be best friends.
He was cool. I mean, I didn't hate him.
I'm gonna name him Smugleaf, and he's gonna be my best friend.
I like Embor a lot better. A Sumo Pig? Sign me up. Who's on fire?
You know what? He almost made it into the top 10.
Yeah?
Yeah, he got bounced out by the panda.
I didn't mind Akibono.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to wrap it for this week. This went by quickly, listener. We had a lot of fun talking about Pokemon with you. We look forward to talking about more Pokemon in the future. We've been meaning to get this specific podcast done for a long time. We were hoping Boy would finish
Pearl first, and then we eventually just gave up the Ghost, as that's, you know what, if we're waiting for that, we might as well also wait for, I don't know,
real Pokemon
to show up. I will beat that game. I swear, listener, I will beat that game if only so I can play X.
My wife is going to be so mad when real Pokemon come out and I get a Garbodor.
I'm gonna get a Charizard. I'm gonna hop onto his back and he'll fly me around, because apparently he can do that.
Yeah, when you're a 10-year-old kid, he's gonna look at you, a full-grown adult, and be like, I will fly that cat.
Or eat the cat.
Oh, man.
No, just have
yeah.
some Poke Puffs.
Yeah, eat some Poke Puffs. We've got a lot more fun stuff for you coming in the future. We keep saying that, but it's actually starting to happen.
Hooray!
So, yeah, keep your peepers peeled on this here YouTube channel for that shit, and you can listen to us talk about stuff.
Because as we all know by this point, at least I hope you do, everything's better when nerds talk about it.